What's up, everybody? Good morning or afternoon or evening, whatever it is. It's 11 a.m. on the West Coast, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, something in between, and you know what's going on. Man, what a life. What a life we're leading. You know what I mean? The world is not doing so good, right? Have you guys noticed? I think a lot of you are watching me on Twitter, so you've noticed. You definitely notice how bad the world's doing if you're on Twitter. Lots of dead babies. Dead babies. Did they get their heads chopped off? Were the babies newborns? Were the babies 4 years old? Were they blown up? Were their heads chopped off? Lots of dead babies. Don't be desensitized to that, folks. Doesn't matter where those babies were from. It's not fun. It's not cool, and it's nothing to be used to. It's brutal. That's not what this show is going to be, but it is I think on the tip of all of our minds. I know we're all trying to move on from it on some way or just focus on other things. But there's one thing that us as a society shouldn't do, and that's desensitize ourselves to babies and questioning whether the babies are really dead. Like, oh, give me a break. Anyways, folks, that's that. Let's look at the chat. Is there anybody in there? Is anybody in this chat? There's El Crypto. Tweak that tash and let's get into it, Coop. That's it. Here it is. I got the stash. El Crypto's in the building. How are you doing? We're on a new time. This isn't a new regular time. I don't really know when this time's going to be. It's usually Friday mornings. I'm going to be doing more frequent things on the ReCoop. That's for sure. The world is on fire. Let's talk crypto. That's it, El Crypto. Good morning, Venture. Good to see you in the chat as well. Shaq, Sunday services with Reverend Cooper Daniels from Definite Friend of the Show. Shaq. And there's Algo Learner. See, there's some familiar faces here. Good afternoon, Django. What a thing. Man. So there was a lot that happened this week. What happened? I mean, we'll dive in. We'll look at prices. We'll check out some sites. Off the top of my head, what do I remember the most from this long week in crypto? Well, we have the ongoing Sam Bankman-Fried trial, the love fest almost for Caroline Ellison because people made fun of her looks. People flipped, be like, she's a victim. She's not a victim. She was not a victim to Sam Bankman-Fried, the tyrant. Give me a break. It wasn't the narrative about her before that she's like got a bunch of boyfriends and buying boyfriends' houses with customer money and all this crap. I don't feel any sympathy for Caroline Ellison, even though Sammy wanted to ditch Caroline and go with the new chick to run his scam. Oh, man. You can buy Ferraris in the United States with Bitcoin and Ethereum, I believe. So Ferrari making a push to be the new official car of crypto. There's just a lot going on, man. There is actually a ton going on. We got an article I read today about Gary Gensler. What is Gary Gensler hiding? We'll talk about that a bit. We'll talk about Grayscale, obviously. We got to talk about Grayscale. The SEC did not appeal it. So I think they have 7 days or something like that. And Grayscale can convert to be a spot Bitcoin ETF, which means obviously BlackRock and others are going to follow shortly after that. Oh boy, we got a little more Binance FUD. Oh, you know how much I like to spread some Binance FUD. And huge news, folks. It's Sunday. A lot of you aren't watching this right now because you're watching football. But if you are watching this while you watch football, I have to start this show with huge breaking fantasy football news. Here it is. Look at this. Holy, I can't believe what I saw today. This is a huge deal to anybody that pays attention to fantasy football. Hold on. Kyle Pitts scored a touchdown. And the Sleeper app hilariously posted this. Kyle's Pitts scores a touchdown. Russell Wilson, who, man, hasn't that guy's fallen off a cliff. Old Russie. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there, buddy. But that it's pretty funny. Kyle Pitts finally scored a touchdown. He has been the most hyped tight end in fantasy football and has never done anything. Last week, he had a good week. I think he got like 7 catches for about 90 yards. This week is his first touchdown, or some. Maybe it's not his first. I don't know, but it's a big deal. All right, fine. I know a lot of you don't give a shit about this, so let's go back. Okay. All right, let's just go to CNBC and see what the mainstream media is saying on this Sunday. There we go. We got CNBC. Futures aren't open yet. I think, what are the futures open on Sundays? Like 2 or 3 or something like that on my time. 5 o'clock Eastern, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. U.S. oil is back. Great. Did we refresh this? The Iranian president warns war could expand. Yep, lots of warnings about wars expanding. That's for sure. Boy, oh boy. You know, I will say this real quick about the war. I mean, obviously, it is brutal what Hamas did to Israel, and it's indefensible and all of these things. But we sometimes have to look at our political leaders, and Netanyahu is no hero. You know what I mean? That guy's has how many indictments against him, and his whole position before leading up to this was actually in support of Hamas because he doesn't believe in a two-state thing. And so he's been de facto supporting Hamas because he feels like they can control that. And if, the other Palestinian faction, the Abbas or whatever faction, and Hamas are always at odds, if they keep them divided, then there'll never be a two-state solution. So, I mean, we just need good leadership, and we don't have that. I mean, I don't mean to bring in the U.S. on this either, but it's just like, man, Joe Biden looks old, folks. All right. Looks real old. Like, let's move on from the dinosaurs. Okay, let's talk about Taylor Swift and her mustachioed boyfriend, Tyler, what the hell's his name? Travis Kelce. Make sure you get all of your fantasy football news from me. I think that Travis Kelce's name is Tyler. Okay, so she had she did good with her concert. Okay, Putin says Russian forces are improving positions. Okay, great. Bitcoin looks like it's pumping up, pushing up a little bit, trying to retake 27,000. All right, there's nothing here for me. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Okay. All right, Bitcoin. There's a lot of green in crypto right now. Small green, very, very small green. If you don't look at the week and you look at the hour, we got tiny green. XRP, 49 cents. Solana, 22 cents. 22 cents. It's what it belongs at. I'm just kidding. I don't hate Solana anymore. I don't. Cardano, a little under a quarter. Okay. How's the volume? Volume's probably pretty bad. Yeah, volumes are real bad, but that's a weekend vibe. You know what I mean? That always happens. Polkadot's fallen. Polkadot's at 375, 376. Looks like Matic is doing worse. All right. Avalanche, they had their app. They got their Stars Arena or whatever that thing's called. Where you at? Where are you at? VeChain sitting at number 36. VeChain held up better than our buddy here. Quant, no longer a $100 stable coin. Near a literal stable coin. And there she is, Mr. Algorand. I got a lot of energy this morning, folks. Algo at 9.5 cents. There it is. Look at that. It's down 6% in the last week. Up very little in the last hour. All right. Does that make you guys feel good? Do you guys feel all right about that? Let's look at, let's just check back in with you guys. Are you guys okay? Hey, guys. What a jerk. Okay, I'm seeing some people get angry at me here, and I'm going to get angry at you. Hold on. You guys want me to push back? Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to look at. What is folks finance at? So all of my algo friends, let's look at this. Boop, ba-doop, boop, boop, boop. All right, algo If you deposit algo on Folks Finance right now, you are going to earn 110%. If you are max leveraged on algo right now, you are going to be paying, that's to borrow. To borrow, you're paying 175%. So, be careful. If you max leveraged your governance stake, be careful. Make sure that you pay down. You're adding a lot of those algo that you're going to get in rewards at the end there. It's eating into it right now. So just make sure you maintain it. This will at some point go down. It traditionally goes down right around now. So I don't know if we no longer have heroes in the ecosystem that provide that liquidity. I don't know what's going on, but this won't maintain. You won't be earning 110% forever on this. Now let's go back to the chat. Oh, this is a perfect time for your UK contingent. Awesome. Good morning, Caleb. Ellison identifies as a supermodel. Give her a break. Yes, she can identify however she likes. Still 110%. Okay, there's Sheck with that. FTX people are smart. How do we know Miss Ellison is playing us? Good morning, everyday Algonaut. I'm an NFL virgin, kind of, and started watching this weekend. All right. What team do you support? You support the 49ers. They're the best team in the league, and they're my team. Anybody else? Any other 49er fans? Any NFL fans out there? My friend is a Texans fan, but they seem to suck. They do suck. So don't root for them. Stop watching Football America. In less than 1 hour, France takes on South Africa in the Rugby Union World Cup quarterfinal. It will be a genuine tough man bloodbath and full of entertainment. All right. Slow down, rugby. All right. Richard Hare, good morning. Sunday evening here, gearing up for a flight to Rome tomorrow. Maybe try and get an algo purchase Ferrari badge or tire. Yes. Richard Harris is going to use all of his crypto gains and going to buy a Ferrari t-shirt. All right. How great is that? Sunday watching Coop read the headlines I can read for myself. Love it. Go, Coop, go. Please pump algo a bit. Hand pink waving. Oh, no face. You can't read the headlines like I read them. That's for damn sure. With my pithy comments, using words like pithy. Did you see the Altcoin Daily interview with Scaramucci? Maybe I'm late to the conversation on this. Hey, Jeffrey, long time no see. I did not see. I have seen some positive sentiment, like the bottom of a wine bottle. From Altcoin Daily. I think he owns some algo, clearly. And Scaramucci, what did he say? 49s it is. There we go. So we got Kevin, a new 49er fan. Why am I stuck on, just wanted you guys to really take in Folks Finance. You know what I mean? That's what you guys need. Just more Folks Finance. Oh, now I'm just putting myself there. Okay, just go away. How about that? Whoa, isn't this better? What do you guys think? Should I get rid of this? Should it just be mustache? Or is this whole package good? Does it make me look evil? I'm trying to look evil. Go Phillies, Joe says. All right, let's move on. What do we got today? You guys, I promised Binance FUD. This is a no face. You could just go to Adam Cochran's Twitter profile and see this as well. But let's just look at it because that's what I want to do. I actually didn't read it, but I know he's good for some Binance FUD. So we're going to read it real quick. What did he say? He says he's going to stop. He's done. He's done with the Binance FUD. All right, here's my last piece of Binance FUD because I think I've convinced just about everyone I can. But if you are still on the fence or even just open-minded, I'd like you consider 3 statements. Number 1, we all agree Justin Sun is a sketch bag and TUSD is a shitcoin he controls. I agree. We all agree that Binance has taken various levels of sanctions risk. Yeah. And but it is crypto and whatever. Okay. Yes. And we all agree Binance US refuses to properly comply with US courts on proving asset custody. Okay. I guess that's true. I don't know. Now imagine you had the largest and most profitable exchange in the market. You had 70% of the market share because your largest competitor exchange blew up. Why would you take on additional risks like TUSD and promos or as collateral? It's not good collateral. It's not high volume. It's not commonly used. It just doesn't grow your market share. Why would you cling to small markets that have geopolitical risk? Why would you offload the Russian market to a Binance cloud project? And why would you have Hamas accounts of SDN flagged individuals that somehow only get caught when law enforcement asks? Why would you fight against audits in the US courts and deny you own your own custody service? An audit should be easy. Custody proof should be easy. 3 large risks for basically no gain, none of which grow your top line or bottom line, none of which improve the experience or safety. Why would you take any of this risk? Unless for some reason you had to. Even those who think this Binance stuff is FUD agree that things like TUSD make no sense, and CZ will tweet for, attack, and discredit or go on rants. I don't think Binance was always a problem. In fact, I do think it was a well-run business at one point, but something has changed in the risks CZ is willing to take that have no rhyme, reason, or reward, and you have to ask yourself why. At the end of the day, keeping your assets stored off of Binance, well, now that is a good idea. And you don't lose out in self-custodying, even if I'm wrong, but I'm right. Oh, wait, but if I'm right and you're on Binance, that costs you everything. Now, every time I raise a fuss, you'll see the reply guys out. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. And that's fine. You can think that. But if you do, it should be because you've got a very good answer for why is TUSD worth the risk for CZ? Now, folks, honestly, that's a good point. That's a great question. Why is TUSD worth the risk for CZ? Now, this dude is definitely in trouble. He's the, His Excellency Justin's son is in trouble. Like, let's be honest here. All right. So that's enough of that. Speaking of China, did you guys see this? U.S. officials say they're worried a Chinese-owned Bitcoin mine in Wyoming will pose a national security threat. The New York Times reports, but I do not subscribe to. So we're going to just read this Yahoo Finance regurgitated article. Bitcoin mine in Wyoming is on the radar of Pentagon officials. The mine is connected to multiple Chinese companies and sits across from a Microsoft data center. Company said that its placement near the data center, which supports the Pentagon, was unrelated. How many Chinese-owned Bitcoin miners are in the United States? In 2021, China banned the resource-intensive practice of Bitcoin mining. Businesses in the cryptocurrency market scrambled to establish themselves in other countries, including the U.S. The Times identified mines in 12 states that were owned by Chinese nationals. Some had ties to the Chinese government. What are we doing? Like, why? Why do we let China? I mean, aren't they our adversary? I don't understand. Somebody maybe explain this to me. Why do we let Wang Zhang provide all of our? Isn't the United States supposed to be some car mecca? And Wang Zhang, owns Ethereum, all of our car parts, and they have Bitcoin miners in 12 states. And they're worried about our national security. Like, fix it. I swear. Yeah. U.S. officials have expressed growing concern that the Chinese government is attempting to target and disrupt U.S. military operations. Officials who spoke with the Times cited concerns that the mines, which use an immense amount of electricity in their operations, could be used to purposely overwhelm electrical grids to cause planned blackouts and complete other cyber attacks. Yeah, sounds like a great idea. Sounds like a fantastic idea. Anyways, I wonder if Gary Gensler has any connections to China. So he's in trouble. What is Gary Gensler hiding? This is from a couple days ago. The SEC protects a security breach from public view. So this doesn't have crypto involved. This isn't involved with, crypto, but this man continues to lead the SEC and losing battles in court. I mean, does anybody in the Democratic Party actually look at this guy and think, okay, this guy's representing us well? I mean, what? Him and his literally shaky performances in front of Congress should be an embarrassment. And now we're finding that he doesn't respond to Congress inquiries and all this crap. So the Securities Exchange Commission duns companies for internal blunders and disclosure lapses that don't harm investors. Yet now, this is the Wall Street Journal, by the way, yet now Chairman Gary Gensler is refusing to come clean about the agency's own internal data breach and possible staff misconduct. Hedge fund founder George Jarkissi this week filed a brief with the Supreme Court in his case challenging the constitutionality of the SEC structure and procedures. Okay, I'm not going to read this entire article to you. Supporting his argument, the brief describes an agency internal security breach that the SEC has swept under the rug. On April 5th, 2022, the SEC disclosed a control deficiency that allowed enforcement staff to obtain adjudicatory records. This would be akin to a prosecutor obtaining access to a judge's internal memos from a law clerk. Did you hear that? This would be akin to a prosecutor obtaining access to a judge's internal memos from a law clerk. In somewhat cryptic language, the SEC explained that its general counsel's office retained the Berkeley Research Group to investigate the breach, but the agency said the breach didn't affect any cases. It's impossible for the public or defendants such as Mr. Jarkissi to judge this since the SEC didn't release the Berkeley Research report. And the SEC also bypassed its own inspector general. You want to know why? Because those findings would have been required to be made public. But by tapping outside attorneys and consultants for the investigation, the SEC could invoke special privileges to shield the report and related from the Freedom of Information Act. What is the SEC afraid of? Berkeley Research may also be conflicted since the SEC pays the consulting firm for expert witness testimony and other services and enforcement actions under contracts totaling millions of dollars. The plot thickened on June 2nd when the SEC announced it was dismissing all 42 open proceedings and vacating industry bars on defendants in 48 cases that were connected to the control deficiency. Why do this if their cases weren't tainted by the breach? One possible explanation is that some defendants plan to raise constitutional challenges to the agency's structure in court, where the information about the SEC's breach and Berkeley Research's report could be sought as part of legal discovery. By dismissing the cases, the SEC could keep these details under cloak. Oh, Gary, sweet Uncle Gary is in trouble. Yet by the time the SEC had already petitioned the Supreme Court for review of the Fifth Circuit, me reading a bunch of words that nobody's listening to anymore, and legal discovery in his case was complete, while the High Court this term will consider only as constitutional. Okay, Jesus. The SEC's behavior underscores this lack of public accountability. The SEC recently finalized a rule to dun private companies that don't disclose cybersecurity hacks within 4 days, but the agency waited more than 6 months to report its own internal breach. Oh, boy. Oh, Gary. Gary's in trouble, folks. Yeah, we're all down. Oh, Michael Jordan, thank you very much. Shout out to Michael Jordan. You're the best. You're a sweetheart. You're a scholar. And I really appreciate it. Oh, man. Algo Gator, I really appreciate it. Happy Sunday to you as well. People are hooking me up in the chat, and I really appreciate it, folks. All right. What else are we going to talk about? Gavin Newsom. You guys want to talk about old G-Dog from California? The governor of California? Got to say, look, I'll say this about Gavin Newsom. If you look at the Democratic Party and you think, where's the talent? This is the only guy that has any talent. He was smart enough to work with Trump during the Trump administration, and he's smart enough to know that it's politically viable, it's politically advantageous to not be a total Elizabeth Warren about crypto. But anyways, so he signed a law to create a regulatory framework for digital assets in California. And his message is not terrible. I am signing Assembly Bill 39, which establishes the Digital Financial Assets Law beginning July 25, all right? July 1st, 2025. This bill requires the Department of Financial Protection. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So you guys get it. There's going to be like a licensing. There's going to be a rulemaking authority and an 18-month implementation date to ensure the adopted regulatory framework can be thoughtfully tailored to address industry trends and mitigate consumer harm. You guys are seeing this, right? Okay. Not that you really need to, but I thank the author for the effort to create a clear and comprehensive approach to regulating the digital assets market. Stronger consumer and investor protections will prevent fraud and ensure bad actors are held accountable. However, Ambiguity of certain terms in the scope of this bill will require further refinement in both the regulatory process and in statute to provide clarity to both consumers, regulators, and businesses subject to this new licensure framework. It is essential that we strike the appropriate balance between protecting consumers from harm and fostering a responsible innovation environment, and I look forward to working with the author to achieve this. That sounds like, to me, somebody that knows that he's running for president and that he needs to take a middle of the road approach to something that is probably going to get more and more topical as we get into the halving next year. And BlackRock has a spot Bitcoin ETF, and Gary Gensler's gone. Oh man, have you guys hung up because I said that there was some talent? He just politically, like he does seem to kind of get it in some level from the politics side. And he's also not 170. So him and Ron DeSantis, by the way, we were just talking about U.S. officials. They're worried all the Chinese thing. I mean, I feel like personally, Ron DeSantis gets the China issue right as well. So there's lots of different things. What do we got? We're talking about Algorand in the chat. I have some faith the CTO, John Woods, can do a lot of good for the blockchain, including making it easy for people to run nodes. That's absolutely right. Brother, if you just came on 4 or 5 days a week for 40 minutes and live stream like Cryptos R Us, spend 20 minutes covering news, current state of the market, then the second 20 minutes doing Q&A, you'd crush and grow your channel so quickly. All right, Aiden, let's do it. I was doing that for a bit. Just do the news, do Q&A. That was sort of it. I enjoy doing it. It's just the timing. Me being on the West Coast, not going to lie, is a bit of a pain in the butt because I got to wake up real early. But you know what? I realized also that I moved. You guys have, because, I don't have a huge space and I got a bunch of kids. There's a lot of activity in my house in the morning. But I have those Eros thing, and I put one of those in my garage, and now the internet is actually really good in my garage. So maybe I set up a green screen in my garage and I start doing it from there, because then I can do it whenever the hell I want. So I do need to be going. Thanks for the advice, and I appreciate the the positivity. President Donald Trump Jr.'s wife, ex-husband, is a weird title. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that'd be weird. Anyways, I don't want to dive into that at all. All I know is that I just would really prefer look, no matter what you feel about Joe Biden, watching him respond to this stuff is just like, oh my God, they're so old. He's so old. Like it's the world is so crazy. It's hard to watch. You want somebody a little somebody a little more quick on his toes. But anyways, okay. What else do we got? There's a Forbes article that I was like, oh, this looks like fun, but then there was no substance to it. Let's read it. Let's make sure. Yeah, there it is. Okay, good. All right. Leak reveals a Wall Street crypto revolution that could crush the US dollar has suddenly begun. Now, heralding Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and crypto price chaos. All right, Billy, what do you got? We were joking about Gary and Gary. Did you guys see, by the way, BitBoy and our buddy Gabriel Haynes? Is that his name? I think. Gary, the dude that did that video that we all had a fun time with, that Algorand video. There's going to be a fight. BitBoy's now doing crypto celebrity fights. Boy, oh boy, that guy's. I don't know, man. Look, I don't even know what to say about that. All I got to say is that they offered him like $2,000 to fight some dude. Gabriel's like, no, I don't want to do that. And then they offered him like $12,000 to fight like Jay Chains, or I think his name is. I don't watch that. I've never watched the Hit Network. I've seen it, when it would pass through to mainstream things like when you would get in trouble, or you'd pump like Algo and Amazon or something like that, something that kind of pumped the price. Anyways, so there's just no real there here in this article, except for this clickbaity crypto revolution. But okay. Oh, there was, yeah. Okay. Along with other major cryptocurrencies, including Ethereum and XRP, have been rocked by the cataclysmic US fiscal situation this year that could be about to get a lot worse. The Bitcoin price has struggled this year amid a growing US war on crypto, though a looming 17.7 trillion earthquake could be about to hit the Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and crypto market. Now, as the US dollar's teeters on the verge of collapse, like, who are they quoting? Wall Street giants, including the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, have been given a tacit green light to revolutionize finance with Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, if that's true, on Friday, the SEC will not appeal. Oh, this is about the grayscale thing that we talked about earlier. In August, a U.S. court ruled the SEC was wrong to reject Grayscale's proposed Bitcoin ETF. We talked about that. That's all happening. This lack of appeal from the SEC is undoubtedly a key moment for the crypto industry, and given the pressure the SEC has faced from the courts and the U.S. House Financial Services Committee, it is a question of when, not if, this approval gets the green light. When this happens, it will open up new possibilities for a number of sovereign pension funds, IRAs, and 401ks, as well as other institutions who before this point may not have had access to digital asset investment opportunities. It's quite possible we will see this approval come through in the first quarter of next year. Okay, so I think we all know now for sure that crypto, certainly Bitcoin, we know that Bitcoin spot ETF is coming. Probably, they did a futures, ETH, however you want to pronounce it, ETF, which the courts recently came down and said if there's a futures Bitcoin ETF, then there should be a spot one. And so I'm sure that same thinking will be applied to ETH. I don't like calling it ETH, so we'll just call it Ether and or ETH. But there's that. But then there's also all of the ETHgate that we see on Twitter and from the XRP community, speaking of XRP. And once again, all of the Chinese backing and the corruption between the SEC and people like Lubin and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there we go. What else? Let's go back to, let's just go to Twitter. Okay. Why am I there? Okay. Share this instead. All right. So she's pretty good for news. Let's just see if she has anything. No, nobody cares. There's the grayscale thing. All right. Let's look at football. Before I hang up, anybody actually care about the NFL? Because I'm actually interested. Let's see. How are the Niners doing? Let's make sure you guys can see all this. Yeah. Okay. Niners, close game. 10-7. 10-7, about to be halftime. Means I can catch the second half of this game, folks. I hope. All right. So, okay, McCaffrey, we all knew he would get it, but this, you would think that the Niners would do better, but the Browns defense doesn't suck. We got the Commanders beating the Falcons. I had to pick up Sam Howell in a couple of leagues. Looks like he might have been doing okay. Let's check out how my buddy Sam Howell's doing. See, I got tired of talking about crypto. Okay, so this is the game where Kyle Pitts got that touchdown. Ooh, yeah. Wait. Yes. I stacked Sam Howell and Curtis Samuel. Maybe it was in the Algo Hour League. In one of my leagues, I did that. So that's good news for me. Hope you guys are happy about that. If Algo Bam is out there watching, I'm sure he hasn't hung up. I know he's a big fantasy football guy. All right. The Colts aren't doing very good without their boy, Anthony Richardson. Kevin's friends team, the Texans, are beating the Saints. All right. Mostert do anything for me? What you got for me, Mostert? Anything? Chuba Hubbard, I'm streaming him in one. Mostert, yeah, there we go. Cool. Jalen Waddle, this is all happening, guys. It looks like I'm having a good fantasy football week. All right, so what do you guys think? Do you think that guy's right? our friend in the chat that I should do this more often. Do about 40 minutes of news, 20 minutes of Q&A. Do it 4 or 5 times a week. Get back to that. Let's do it, right? Let's get my shit together. I feel like the bear market is closing. And it's going to get exciting again. I do actually think that. I just don't know when. I've been hesitant to say that or call that. Maybe an evening show. You mean like, oh, you mean like at 4 or something my time? So then like at 7 o'clock? Oh, 7 Eastern? It's kind of fun being awake. Yeah, it's hard to keep up the waking up at it's hard to maintain waking up at 4:30 a.m. when you've got 3 kids. And you actually want to they're at school until late, right? So it's like I don't want to be constantly putting my show together for the couple of hours where I'm actually hanging with my kids. And then it's like I got it because I have to be focused. And then it's just like you know how it goes. So there needs to be a solution here where I do this more regularly because it's true. I do have fun running through the news, hanging out with you guys. And, I think that'll be good. I think it'll be good for me to do this more. I've been trying to do it early, or I just try to figure out how to do it like at noon Eastern, which is also possible. It depends. It just depends on what I'm going to have to do in order to survive, and make more money if the bear market does continue. All right. Did I go through everything? Am I ready to go back? Any questions, guys? You got anything you want to talk about before I leave? Does anyone know what Fry's crypto ticker Fry is? No, I don't. I know that Fry's used to be a grocery store and a electronics store. Who's going to tip next so Coop can get some food for his family tonight? I mean, we're not quite there yet, Michael Jordan, but we're getting close. No, I'm just kidding. It's not so bad. I appreciate Aiden. All right. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. It's what you earn for running one of their devices or software packages. Satellite tracking, bandwidth mining, some other random stuff. I guess that's Fry's. Maybe an evening show. Good suggestion. Evening shows that could be caught after work Central Time would be great. So Central Time, I think you're 2 hours away from me. So that means if I did it at 4 my time, that you Central could catch it at 6 and 7. 4 to 5 actually works for me. And then we get all the news of the day. So it's not like, any kind of news by 7 o'clock Eastern is pretty good. BitTensor. Well, I'll have to dive in before I really speak about that. El Crypto. Is there any? Let's look at this real quick. Yeah. All right. Don't want to talk about that. All right. Hey guys, be good to yourself. You know what I mean? Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind, your mind state. And that's it. Yeah, I don't have anything deep to say about that. But I if you're like me, you're susceptible to get obsessed about certain things. So as good a work as Mario on Twitter is doing, it's positive, I guess, to be able to have access to all of these images and all of this news in real time and not be censored and stuff like that. But boy, like I'm concerned about the desensitizing of it all. It seems pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. All the crap that we have to look at right now. And, people treating people like animals, and people are humans. They're not animals. You would go to prison for chopping dogs' heads off. So let's just be, anyways, end it on a high note. You know what I mean? Anyways, so it's Sunday, guys. It is 11:40. I blazed through this, but I started right on time. So it's about 11:45 my time, 2:45 your time in the East Coast. I can do math. And yeah, just have a good rest of your day. Maybe watch football, go to the park, drink some wine, get hammered, day drink, get hammered, vomit, and forget. Okay. All right, everybody. I appreciate you. I'll be back soon, and I'm going to give a lot of thought to this new time. Do you read the headline? Oh, yeah. What was that? You want me to read that, Fred? I'll read that. Adventure says getting hammered is definitely on. Enjoy a cold one. Ciao. Yes. Buy El Crypto. Later, Kupar. I'll believe. But there was a headline thread about Ethereum versus EVM versus AVM, and we'll talk about that maybe this week, and we can dive into it. There's pluses and minuses. I think the verdict was Algorand is fast, it's cheap, it's a great experience for that, but our wallets and our dev tools lack. I think that's, did I read it right? I think that's what they said. And I don't doubt, I think that a lot of that is true. All right, everybody. I appreciate you. I'll